Hello, hello, Zubek. How are you doing? It's the only one I have out there so far. I hope everyone's doing really well. Hope you're staying calm, cool, and collective because it is hotter than HE double toothpicks out here. Just wanted to get some housekeeping things out of the way here before we actually get into the meat and potatoes of the show. And I'm going to be talking a little bit about frequency, going back into history, who actually developed the beginning of the Wi-Fi, and you'll be really surprised to learn who has actually done that. Talk a little bit about Hollywood and how does Hollywood, come into play of understanding frequency. And before I get to any of that stuff, there, I just want to give you an update. I was talking to you guys about Ascent Nutrition. You can soap. So I've tried it and it is fantastic. And I just wanted to let you know that, and I forgot to mention yesterday, is that you can get that on my website on turnthepage.social. Turnthepage.social. You should see it down below on the banner there if you're watching this. I can't. I can highly recommend this. It smells really, really good. And when Lance said you could use it to wash your hair, he's not kidding. So it's just I can smell it through the wrapper. So there you guys go. And I was going to read, it's got a lot of really good stuff in it. If you're kind of curious about it, this bar will last you a long time for, if you want to justify the cost on it. All right. So that's the one thing. The other thing is, let's see here. Let me just I have to get my goggles on. Just this is just stuff that I actually do, and I wanted to bring this up to you guys. So we're always talking about you know people that are engineering food out there and stuff like that. Have you guys tried these? This is looks like it's upside down. Oops. Have you tried this? I don't want to say the name. But my husband bought this, and he went to the store, and I said, let's come back to the camera. I said, we need eggs. When I was trying to let him know, that there are certain type of eggs, he doesn't understand like half the stuff that I tell him about any of this stuff. So he brought this back, and I went, oh no, So he was baking with it and stuff like that, and I happened to look it up. There's actually a patent for this one out there. And I think I believe I sent it to my phone. I'm going to try to find it. Maybe not, maybe not. But any case, let me just read what the patent is. If you guys want to look it up yourself. I said, why do they have to have a patent for the shells, for the egg shells, right? Let me see if I can actually type this in here. Just bear with me for a moment. All you do is you type in patent, IENT. It's got it on the bottom here. And it is patent number 101. And if you guys want to do this at home at another time, 97543. And I didn't, maybe food industries patent the eggs. I have no idea, but this is just something I took this off of the carton there, and I really wanted to read through it. It's called, they say they use these certain words, right? Organic, right? They use these certain buzzwords, and they talk about all the vitamins and everything that's in there, and also 125 omega 3, 25% less saturated fat than regular eggs. So I'm looking at this, and let's see. It's telling me to go to a portal because I had this open, and I could have sworn I sent it to myself when I found it. Let me just open up another page here. I apologize, you guys. I'm kind of like all over the place here this morning. Let's get rid of that. Get rid of that. Google Chrome. There it is. So it's US 101-97543B1 was how it came up, and it's a method for production of a verified enriched shell egg. I don't know. You're not going to be able to see that. This is really cheesy. All right. So the inventor is Bart T. Sloan, Simon Shane, Eggland's Best. Then there's a patent for it, and I'm trying to figure out. Okay, It's a worldwide application in 2014, and is when they started this patent. It's application filed for Eagle's Best priority. What else do they have on here? It's active at expiration. So they give you diagrams on this. I really need to bring this up on here so I can share this with you guys. Apparently, I mistyped the word patent when I was doing this. P-A-T. 1 second here. I want to do this correct. U.S. This is Mercury retrograde screwing with me. U.S. 101.975 4 3. It says B 1. And you're just tuning in. Just why is this not? Let me just put the word patent at the end there. It's not working now, of course. Method for production of verified enriched shells. Okay, I want to share this with you guys. Let me just present this screen to you, and so you can see what I'm actually talking about here. Come on, is there not an easy way to do this here? Here we go. Allow. All right, so this is where I'm at. Let me blow up my screen so that I can see what you're looking at here. Crazy. So it's a method, an operation, a computer-readable storage medium for producing and verified enriched shell eggs, in quotes, VESE, and the resulting VESE therefore can compromise the method of production and verification. The method of production and verification can ensure that the VESE has reduced risk of presence of salmonella. It has a high desirable nutrient content for low. I thought these things just came out of the eggs. I mean, out of the chickens, right? And so let me just click on this here and show you what I'm actually looking at here. There are 9 images of a particular, can it not turn the other way? Let's see, one more time. There we go. So you have to, and I don't know where I'm going with this. I always start out so saying, I want to tell you guys that there are patents on just eggs from this particular company that I don't want to mention, but you can see it on the screen. It says obtain chicks from the NPJP hatchery. Vaccinations, and then there's ST vaccinations. They give them by the hour, by the days, and then SE vaccinations, 12 to 14 weeks, and then they transfer to the eggs productions in the farm. All right, so this is crazy. So yeah, this is probably what they have to do. But to me, is this geoengineering? It sure sounds like it. So anyways, that's all I wanted to talk to you guys about. But isn't this crazy? Yeah, this is just, let me just see what this one here is. There's like a whole process for this here that I just thought I told my husband, please don't ever buy these again, or else let me just go and get the eggs. So he went shopping. He knew we needed eggs again, and he did good the second time around. Having a weird day today. Shelly, let's talk about that. Let's talk about it. All right, so I'm done with that. I actually came on here to talk about frequencies and energy and so on and so forth. So let me take this off of here and stop sharing this with you. So yeah, I wanted to kind of talk to you guys a little bit about the energies and in Hollywood, and how does frequencies in Hollywood and all that come together? What's the whole deal? So I'm going to take you guys back a little bit into history. Then I'm going to get back to Shelly here and show you guys what I'm actually talking about. I've mentioned this a couple of times, and this is a beautiful one. It was known as one of the most beautiful actresses. This is when actresses or actors, whatever you want to call them, were beautiful back in the day. They weren't looking like the freaking Madonna freaks out there, or the who's that other really weird one that puts meat all over herself? But I just want you to just take a look. It's not a very long video here.
People are unreasonable, illogical, and self-centered. Love them anyway. If you do good, people will accuse you of selfish, alternative motives. Do good anyway. The biggest people with the biggest ideas can be shut down by the smallest people with the smallest minds. Think big anyway. What you spend years building may be destroyed overnight. Build anyway. Give the world the best you have and you'll be picked into the sea. Give the world the best you've got anyway. Already.
Okay, so if you guys don't know who this is an actress from the 19th. She was born in, I think, the 1930s, but she became popular, I want to say, right after World War II. And this is Hattie Lamar. And she's actually the woman that I'm going to take you through that actually designed, came up with the patent, came up with the idea, and found another gentleman to help her design Wi-Fi. And it was to help the war. I think it was World War II. And she's just a brilliant, extremely intelligent woman. And she was from Austria. That was the accent that you were actually listening to. So the story goes with her, and I'm going to kind of, you guys can do your research on her. There's so many YouTube videos out there. She's obviously passed on. She never got credit for designing they call it frequency jumping, if you will, until 1997. Her family, I think she's got a son and a daughter. They're well into their 80s. Are now finally she's getting her credit due. She could not get that while she was living, and I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about that. And it was important for me to bring this to you. Yeah, so what did she actually do? So she was right before. I think it was, the Nazis were bombing Austria and stuff like that. She got on a ship and she came to America. She kind of fleeted. She was born Jewish, but who knows how the story goes. She never claimed to be Jewish when she came to America, and that's because of the producer or director, Louis Mayer is what he was known as, a big slime ball in Hollywood. He's the one that really messed up a lot of these Hollywood women, and whatever he started became a trend for what is happening today. A big slime guy. All right, so let me just see what else I have out here for you. I just want to talk a little bit about her. This is Hedy Lamarr was proof that we've never taken beautiful women seriously. And that is the truth. And you always think that if you're beautiful, you don't have any brains and all that other stuff. We know that it's all bullshit. She designed Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, and she came up with the patent. The Navy actually stole it from her. And there's documentaries out there where her sons and everybody is now telling the story of how she came about. She actually, with the help of another gentleman who understood music and piano, scrolling piano paper, they were able to see if you hit a key at a certain note, the music would be, the tune, whatever would be here, the frequency would jump. If you know what I'm talking about, back in the day, they had, when you played the piano, they had this roll of paper and you could see how the music was actually moving about. And so she took that logic, being an intelligent woman, and said, okay, so when a ship is going to get hit by a torpedo, they can't stop the signal. But she says, yeah, we can stop the signal. And she figured out that there's this thing called frequency jumping that happens. So she took it from her experience of being in the music and being an actress, along with another guy that wrote music. And this was just a beautiful, beautiful thing. I am, for some reason, very obsessed with learning about her story. For one thing is that I struggled in corporate with glass ceilings and trying to, I kept getting kicked down by men in the corporate world, and the little boys club. I can tell you story after story, especially with Dean Foods. If anybody knows about Dean Foods, they're a food conglomerate that buys up all these different brands, and they run the business under their own brands. And it's all fine and dandy. They're real successful. I did a lot of programming for them, but they never let women into meetings. And I was one of those. I was in early 1990s, and I thought I was walking into 1950. If I even had the goal to say I wanted to get into a meeting and find out what it is I needed to know in programming, I had to take notes for everybody in there. It was just crazy. So I digressed a little bit here. And this is what this actress has actually gone through. She's basically figured this all out, her and this other gentleman, and you can find all the documentaries out there. And it just goes on and on to talk about this. She was just so beautiful, and they just wanted her just to be an actress, but she was intelligent. They didn't give her credit for being intelligent. And so so when she said, oh, I can help win this war, and I can tell you how to do it. So they went to the Navy. And when she went to the Navy, they basically said, why don't you just go sell a bunch of tickets to help support the soldiers out there? And she did a record-breaking, sold $10 million worth of tickets and raised all this money in the shortest period of time. This woman was just, she was just so fantastic. And so they took her paperwork. The Navy said, okay, thank you. Go back and make your movies, be famous, and all that other stuff. They took it. They didn't understand it. They didn't want to hear her out. And they took it and they put it in a vault, supposedly. It was patented, and she should have gotten credit for it. Somebody came along and said, what are these diagrams? What does this work here? And they were able to improve upon it. But she was the first one to understand frequencies and Wi-Fi and how to break the signals or how to send a different signal, so on and so forth. But if you want to do more research on it, like I have, there's so much out there about this wonderful woman and what they've done to her. So the one guy that really messed with all of these beautiful actresses was Louis Mayer. He would drug a lot of these actresses and just stifle them, and this guy was the biggest slime ball out there, right? And he came from Ukraine, of all places. He was born in Ukraine. And let's see if I've got that information. Let me get rid of this one here. This is a mini bio on Louis B. Mayer, well known at MGM, right? And he actually started a burlesque. So he escaped Ukraine. He goes to Canada. And then he comes to, I guess it must have been like New York or something like that. And so Mayer was born in Ukraine, grew up in St. John, New Brunswick, Canada, after his parents fled Russian oppression in 1886. He had a brutal childhood, raised in poverty and suffering. And that's pretty much what he did to all the Hollywood people out there also. And so after many, many years, he basically he was one of the first guys to come up with MGM. And the Tiffany of all studios was MGM, producing more films and movie stars than any other studio in the world. Mayer became the prime creator, enduring Hollywood myth home stars like Clark Gable, Judy Garland, Joan Crawford, and Jean Halo. Mayer became the highest paid man in America, coming from poverty, but he was scum. He was the scum. That's all that I can say, and I'm being really nice. And so he would take a lot of these beautiful actresses, like the one I just talked about, or any of them out there, and he would just mess with their mind, gave them drugs. Speed was a big thing back in the day for all of them, and a lot of them, and this is going to be another whole show for you, but a lot of the female, like Judy Garland, we always heard that they all had some sort of codependency on alcohol or drugs or something like that. And it was this guy here, Louis B. Mayer, that basically was the one that got them all addicted to it. A lot of them lost their mind. A lot of it, they all became bipolar because of the drugs, and so on and so forth. So nobody really knows when this Mayer, he changed his name. He even changed his birth certificate to reflect America's 4th of July. So his birth of his nation, none of it is true about him. So, when you go to try to do research on him, they'll have so many different things out there on this slime ball, if you will. But in any case, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit more about, not as much about him, but about her.
Okay, Wi-Fi.
Whoops. Come on. Did I lose it?
This is the birthday of actress Hedy Lamarr, born November 9th, 1914. She was born in Austria. Now, she acted in some 30 films, and that's where most of us will have heard of her. And she was also a brilliant inventor. She co-invented an early version of frequency hopping spread spectrum device as a guidance system for radio-controlled torpedoes during one of those wars. A variety of spread spectrum techniques have been used in present-day Wi-Fi and are used right now in Bluetooth technology. Brilliant and beautiful Hedy Lamarr. She lived to the age of 85. This is the birthday of actress Hedy Lamarr, born November 9th, 1914. She was born in Austria. Now, she acted in some 30 films, and that's where most of us will have heard of her. And she was also a brilliant inventor. She co-invented an early version of frequency hopping spread spectrum device as a guidance system for radio-controlled torpedoes during one of those wars. A variety of spread spectrum techniques have been used in present-day Wi-Fi and are used right now in Bluetooth technology. Brilliant and beautiful Hedy Lamarr. She lived to the age of 85. This is the birthday.
Okay, so obviously today's not her birthday, but there's a video that I found out there. So her son is actually finally, he's telling a story out there about what his life was like. He had a mom when she was little, when she was famous and very successful. They get a little bit older. They want them to do the plastic surgeries where plastic surgery started, puff up their lips with just about every female actress out there. They started, and actually Hattie, this woman here was the one that teach some of the doctors how to do plastic surgery and how to cut in which way. She was schooled very well in Austria. As a child, she was well educated. They took her to ballets when ballets were popular. So she learned to dance. They sent her to the best schools, the best education, and now she turns 18 or whenever it was that she flew from Austria and then came to the United States. She just couldn't believe how stupid people were, to be honest with you. And so, what she would basically tell them, you got to tuck when you do the plastic surgery, how to tuck and how to pull and which way to cut and stuff like that. And they listened to her, they learned from her, and there's doctors out there that will admit to it. So that I just wanted to tell you a little bit about that. And a lot of people don't know that where this actually came from. So the patent is out there. The Navy finally gets somebody that understood the patent, and they didn't give her credit for years. Her son runs across it. He's probably, it was like around the 90s, so he's probably in his 50s at the time. I think he's in his 80s now, and says, hey, that was my mother's work. And he was able to prove it because she had the original documents that she drew in a box in an attic or something like that. So he was able to say, give my mother this credit. Did she ever get any of the money for any of this? No, none of that. So towards the end of her life is the saddest story is every actress out there. It is just so freaking sad what they do to the actresses. So when you are, let me stop this. When you are an actress and you're on the top, they treat you like queens, right? You drop something, somebody bends down, they pick it up for you. You don't cook, you don't clean, you don't do everything. And then all of a sudden, one day you age, you get a little bit older, you're not as attractive to these producers and stuff like that. And they just try to throw you aside. And that's what happens to all of them. Well, they have a really hard time coming down off of being put up on pedestals for so long. So they're given the drugs, right? And the reason why I'm actually telling you is that I'm going to be doing series, more and more stuff about Hollywood, because I was always listening to people come onto my channel and just say, well, he's a she, she's this, these, that. I'm like, no, we got to go a lot deeper. That's too shallow, right? We got to know where all this came from. If all these people all of a sudden had money, and every one of these women lost money. Look what happened to Debbie Reynolds. Every time she married a guy out there, and they marry multiple times. It's not one time. If you get somebody that marries one time, I don't know if that's even the truth out there today, but they, like Hattie, I think she was married 6 times. So, that's just a little bit a history behind that, but that's not my whole story here. I did want to take you guys into something else that I found out on talking more about frequencies. And let me just kind of share this stuff with you guys here. And our energies and stuff like that, because it's really important. A lot of us, we could talk about we could talk about, being centered. We are one. Where we go one, we go all. We could sit there and do everything at a spiritual level. But what about bringing it down to the physical? And I think that's what Hattie did. She was able to say, I understand, we're talking frequencies. There's frequencies, energies, and vibrations at the spiritual level. But what do we do when it comes into the physical? Well, she was able to connect the dots, taking from some music, her and another partner, obviously, and I can't remember his name for the life of me, but able to take this and say, okay, when you play a tune, it's here. When you play another tune, it's here. These are vibrational frequencies. And then how she would take that and then turn it into Wi-Fi, something that's wireless, and then sell it to the Navy. And the Navy just looked at it and poo-pooed it because they weren't smart enough to understand it until years later they got somebody in there. Well, that's all good. She didn't get credit for it. All these other big technical corporations are basically the ones that have benefited from all this. And, she didn't. She actually died probably, all these big movie stars die so lonely and so sad, and it breaks my heart. I just kind of wish that if you're talented in something in one area, nobody puts anybody up on a pedestal. Nobody does we need to recreate how we treat humanity. We don't put one person on a pedestal and put somebody else down, right? And that's kind of like where I'm going with any of this here. But we also have to understand, okay, we can talk about spiritual in, kumbaya ways, but we're now taking that and then manifest it into something into the physical, right? And I think that that's a good example of what Hattie did, and how powerful it could be and what you could develop. That's why I keep saying to people out there, if I hit a younger audience out there, if you've got an idea, you take it and run with it now, because it's going to be a whole new world. You're looking at the year 2020, 25, 26, 27. Then you get to the year 2030. We're not even going to recognize this world, right? And so an argument could be made that God of Source is the perfect truth combination for all. And it's us who reflect and refract all the outwards into many forms, creating and perceived separation. The danger comes when we identify with these false forms of and deny God. And I think that's what this is all about here. Is obviously it is that we should never ever deny our source, whatever it is that you call it, right? Let me just see what the next thing that I actually have here. I'm actually taking this word from Drewski out on X. If any of you guys follow him, I actually want to interview him. I haven't heard back. I haven't seen anything out there. Let's just take a look. A lot of times, a lot of people don't want to be interviewed. They just want their work out on social media. So let's see what else we have out here. So on one level, all is one. And on another level, there's a separation of a different hertz. Using the heart chakra connected to source, you can feel yourself around the realms and contact or push any frequency that doesn't serve you. Let me just blow this up a little bit more. So when you are working within the heart chakra between you and somebody else, or you get into the whole triangle of it. So minds attract. I've always said this: like attracts like. That was like the basic thing that I learned when I was, learning about spirituality and stuff like that. So the mirror reflects only what it is. You ever notice that somebody that's in your life and then they leave? Well, you shifted or they shifted, and there's no, it's always the like attracts like. And so if there's something that is in your life that you don't care for, you dismiss it and you move on from it. And that's how we control our frequencies, our energies. If we are sad and we're lower vibration, and depressed, we will attract the worst. I don't want to say the worst. Let me reword that. Lower frequencies, lower vibrational people. And then all of a sudden we start to find our own self-worth and our own empowerment. And we find that we're determined to come up from the depression. And then all of a sudden the people move on. And that's okay. And we need to be okay with it. We're not going to be friends with everybody out there. But this is where I'm kind of going with this. and they kind of talk about how does this relate to the story that I told earlier about frequency and vibration and frequency. Well, all those Hollywood people lost their power, they lost their vibration, they lost their frequency, and they let other things overcome them. And so, if we're going to learn about vibrational frequency and stop talking about it, and everybody says raise your vibration, oh wait, 888 is coming up. Do you guys know what 888 really is? They talk about this Lions Gate. Go and do your research and look into it. It could be also something very, very negative. So all you people out there that think that you're going to manifest something only because that portal is opening up, be very careful what's on the other side of that portal. That's all that I'm going to say. All right. So what else do I have here? Let me just continue on here. There's more. So we're talking about the fabric of reality, and can I get this over here? There we go. Well, there it went. Where did it go? This is weird. Technical difficulties. This is very, very weird. I just lost my, okay. Well, this is where I'm kind of going here with that one picture that's moving. I'm trying to blow it up, and it is not allowing me to do that. So this is the fabric of a reality. It comes in many frequencies of the highs and the lows, and these frequencies take on a form of what we perceive to be of source and not of source, to be of source and not of source. Living energy or dead energy, good and evil, dark and light. Human existence is dualistic in nature. Take the good with the bad, you guys. Like attracts like. You could be at the highest vibration, which they say is love and joy, and then you could also be at the lowest one, which is shame. And I don't know if a lot of you guys know that, but when you're at that shame vibration, it's not a good one to be at. So that's really where I was going with that. What else do we have here? What else do we? Oh, okay, there's more. This is backwards. This is really backwards. So within the quantum understanding that you are not separate from your surroundings, but you are in fact interconnected, and is vital as a piece of all. And all is a piece of you. A sense of indescribable connection can be felt, the feeling of God's love. All right. And let's see there. There's one more here. I kind of like it when these are moving here. So your body is made up of these energies. It's inseparable. It is what it is, but somewhere near the center of all is a void of space. Nothing, nobody. An omnipresent, silent, understanding, accepting space, the source that's connecting all things. Consciousness per se. All right. You guys, I'm sure a lot of you that have studied understand this, what I'm saying here. I'm going to get back to you guys. I see a few things out there that we can kind of talk about. If you want to put your questions out there, if anybody needs to work through something, let's do it. Today's the day to do it. I've only got a couple more screens here. And if you guys are stuck on something, I want to see if I can help you out. Let's see. So there is an energy that creates all of us around us and within us. This energy is the fabric of reality, and it can be created or destroyed, but it can be manipulated and molded like a building block of life. This energy is self-aware, and it comes in many forms and frequencies that I think you guys are aware of. And, more importantly, I always talk about, I'm doing the Akashic Records. I'm up in the ethers, right? And I want to talk a little bit about the ether. This is the understanding that it, and this person is basically saying that you could agree to disagree if you wanted to, but it doesn't resonate or move on. If you have anything to add, you love to share below. I'm not sure what he was saying here about the ethers. I don't think he said anything about the ethers there. Okay. So in any case, I could talk about the ethers because I could talk about it to the point that there were so many people out there that had written books about the ether, but you don't see them anymore. A lot of it has been removed, and I wonder why. And a lot of people today will basically say, well, they remove there's an element table out there and they remove the ether code from there. A lot of people are arguing that they're doing that because people will be able to figure out whether this planet that we live on is either flat or round or whatever shape that you want to give it. I don't quite understand that. I'm not from a science background, but I just wanted to share that with you. All right, I think that is everything. I might have to go back out. I think that's what happened is I went in too far on this here. So I just wanted to share a little bit about it. Make the connection. Let me stop sharing here and talk a little bit about Hollywood, the brilliant minds out there, low vibration, high vibration, the beautiful souls out there that have been ruined by Hollywood. And you guys probably being more recent and current know the evil turn that it's taken. And I blame a producer out there by Louis B. Mayer. He changed his name so many times throughout his travels before he became successful out there. We don't really even know who he is. He changed his birthday, he changed his birth certificates, so on and so forth. And it's because he fled Ukraine. So how many of these people that are running our country are from other countries, obviously, when they came here, because this is the land of opportunity. But there's a big amount of Jewish people that run Hollywood, and I don't agree with half of them that are out there. Any of you that are watching this Harris and her new VP are starting to see a lot of these Hollywood people that are coming out and they're backing her. Basically, when I see this, I basically say, now we can see what they're really all about there, right? And I hope that they never get another role that is, worthy of a good movie anymore, because, and I think that they might just be playing the role there also. So with that said, I just want to see if anybody has any questions on this. Rhonda B is out there, says they wanted to keep technology from us. We are hundreds of years behind the elites. What the elites have, yes, we are. They have been hiding it. And there's so much out there, and we can look forward to that. We can finally see, hopefully it will come to fruition out there. I want to say hello to Ron. He's out there. Rhonda, is that a question? Do we need to work through sadness? Can't bypass anymore. Yeah, we have to get in touch. If we're at a particular frequency, and if it's a low frequency and we're sad about something, we have to really work with it and understand it. Where's it coming from? It's just like anything else. You have a symptom, right? You got to work its way backwards, right? That's alternative medicine, is the way that I was always taught. You don't, if it's a pimple, you don't basically say, oh, you got a pimple here, put this on and it'll go away. You got to know what's causing that pimple, because you're going to constantly get those pimples all the time. That's a really gross analogy, but it just came to mind. But, we always have to find out what is causing it. Is it the stress? What kind of stress do I have? Why do I have it? What is the patterns? What's the programming? And what do I have to change in my programming to change this, right? And it could be that simple. You say, oh, that's easy for you to say. And I basically work with a lot of people on a day-to-day basis, helping people out there. I help trace back these type of things. I follow the energy. I follow the patterns. Everybody has a pattern. And I learned this from programming. You got to draw things out. You got to see how things are played out before you can actually go in there and program. And it's kind of like how I think. And so when I'm trying to help somebody with an emotional reaction to something, and they don't even understand why that they have it, I help take them back. And I follow that through the ethers. Okay. And so I just wanted to put that out there. Ayo, you're on time. Yay, everybody applaud. Okay, says thanks, Janine. Lots to think about astrologers I watch sometime, also called the Lionsgate BS. She's an ancient astrologer. Interesting take, too. Yeah, and I'm real concerned about people that are pushing this Lionsgate, and they make it sound so glamorous, if you will, just like everybody seems to make something sound so attractive. And what made me think of that is that just with this information I'm giving you, if there's always a good side and a bad side. It's just like people want to do remote viewing, and they want to understand what remote viewing is. I have done that in my lifetime. I don't push that out there because sometimes it just comes to me that all of a sudden I can see what is actually happening somewhere else, and I'll ask, what is this? Why are you showing it to me? That type of thing. But if you open up the portal to doing this, you better know what you're getting yourself into, is all that I'm saying. And so take a look at who created this Lion's Gate. You have to know, do your research on every freaking thing. Don't listen to somebody because they're putting all the bells and the whistles on it and they're saying, oh, this is just a beautiful, beautiful thing. Look into it. Who started this Lion's Gate? How far back does it go? You know, is it satanic? Is it okay? I have no idea. I'm just kind of throwing these things out. And if if I'm not your cup of tea, you basically would just turn it off, right? Because that's what we do. We want to listen to people that we trust. We want to, believe in what they're saying. And I'm saying you trust yourself and you believe in yourself. And just be very careful when you're talking about energies, vibrational frequencies, and portals. And that, I think, is coming up tomorrow, 888, right? And people are talking about 888, 8 a.m., 8 p.m. They're doing it all. What's it so different from the 666? Just saying. I know that 888 is an infinite number. My birthday is on an 8. I studied numerology. I just don't know where this whole Lion's Gate came from. And so I'm just kind of bringing that up. If you guys want to put your thoughts in there, please do. Who do we have out on Rumble Rant? Says, leading from the heart, says, great topic, Janine. Thank you. Can't believe you're discussing what I was just reading about Jean Harlow. Very sad. And what they did to her. They did it to every single one of them. I just saw something that somebody was in a coffee shop. They pull into, it's like a strip mall, right? And they're sitting in their car, probably having their coffee. And then another car pulls in, and it is, oh, don't tell me, I'm not going to remember her name. All right. Anyways, it's a famous actress. And I probably forgetting her name for a reason. Famous actress, made tons of movies. She's the one that always basically said she could talk to the dead, and she ran around with the rack packs. You guys figure this one out. And, so she is pulls in. She's going to go in and get a cup of coffee. There's a table out there with 3 or 4 people sitting around talking. Now, she's famous, and this guy knows who she is. All wrinkly, no makeup on, well into her 80s. And she walks past them. She looks at them. They don't even acknowledge her. And, and so then she goes and she gets her cup of coffee. She comes back out. And she's got a little shopping cart with her, and she has some other things in there. And she wheels it over to her car, and as she's wheeling it over, she looks back at them and she puts her hands out like this. They don't know who she is. And I'm thinking, is she wanting to get acknowledged? Is she upset that people are not understanding who she is? It's like been 3 or 4 different generations after she's been famous. How sad is that? And she was a famous dancer too. She's a very famous dancer, and she had long legs and everything else. All right, so when I think about this stuff, and I get a little upset because I'm obsessive with learning about Hollywood and finding out all these different stories, and just kind of going back in and digging deeper than where we're currently at the last 4 or 5 years, and what we know what they did to the child actors. And they've been doing it to child actors. Judy Garland had so much to deal with. No wonder she became an alcoholic, with all those producers and all those men, and just being all of them were sex objects. And then when they were done with you, they just threw you away. They don't do that to men, but they did do it. They do it in kind of like at the end of each, how do I say this? Like when people are, every 10 or 20 years or 30 years, and then you're famous, and then they just say, okay, next, bring in the next batch, right? That's all we are, is kettle on, kettle off for all of them, right? It's really pitiful. Shirley MacLaine, thank you. Got it. Yes, it was Shirley MacLaine. And, I probably could go back and find that video, but, and I should try to find it, because it was really heartbreaking. I'm sitting there and I'm watching this, and I hope I put it in my watch laters, but I'm watching this, and I'm just thinking, they picked you up in limousines. You had cameras all over you, flashbulbs, right? You were on every talk show out there. You were so part, and people loved you. They loved you. And then what happens is you get old and they don't love you anymore. What does that do to the soul? What does, that, you talk about people that are always trying to find love, right, in all the wrong places. And yeah, and I'm going to see if I could try to find this right here real quick. Let's see what else. Used to read her books. Yeah, yeah. Marilyn Monroe, Natalie Wood. What the hell happened to Natalie Wood? We'll never find that out, will we? Or will we? Let's see here. I'm trying to find the one on her. But you guys can find them out there. There's everybody's got it out there. But that little video of her just going into a coffee shop and her just like, hey, you guys, it's me, and they had no clue who she was. Yeah, PJ is saying, yeah, you got to love yourself. And the thing is that one of the first things I would do if I was going to recreate Hollywood, not name it Hollywood, right? This is if I was queen, is that I would say, you're going to be a movie star and you're going to make some movies and you'll be popular, but we're not going to put you up on a pedestal. And you're going to, it's kind of like term limits for politicians, right? We'll give you 2 years at trying this out, and then if you make it really good, that's good. You reap the benefits from it. But what they did, what they glamorized and how they used people and they threw them away is a heartbreaking part of all of this, right? It really is. It really is. Let's see if it's in my histories. Boy, I've been watching a lot of documentaries out there. They're very, very long too, so they're very time consuming. Let's see if I just do the little search engine. I don't know what's going on with me today. I feel a little bit off. I was sick yesterday. Well, I'm taking the time to do this. Yeah, I just wanted to mention that I was supposed to do my show on gold and I moved it. I moved the goalpost like 3 times. Yesterday I was sick. I think I had some bad yogurt. And well, here's another one. Here's another one that I never even seen.
Hey, we're the Try Guys. Ever gonna see how much money Keith?
And let me just kind of get through this commercial. I would not recognize her. Let me just share this with you. So this is her probably going all natural. She, and they all wear wigs. If you guys don't know that. So this is her making an appearance in Malibu, I do believe. McLean wore a blue shirt with zip. She dresses like anybody else's dresses. She wears the jacket, the zip up jacket. I would not have known that that's her. Not at all. And then when she does come on television, they make her look. See right there, I probably would recognize her more with the brown hair, but not the white hair. And like I said, they just all wear wigs. Yeah, so she could tell she had a lot of work done, but God rest. It's just crazy. So, anyways, that's enough about Hollywood. That's all I've got for you guys on there. Dantese is in the house. Hello. Ideology is destructive. It's very destructive. Racial ideology is the worst of the worst. Yeah. And, we need to be very conscious, learn from our mistakes, right? And everybody's saying, oh, if they were in Hollywood and they did this and they did, we don't know. We were just part of this truther community who basically talked about the children, and then we could see it, and then we saw it being played out in the news, but then wanting to change their sexes and all this other stuff, and we get that. I just say, moving forward, get rid of Hollywood, move it out of California, put it in Texas. Everybody's going to Texas. There's enough land out there, and just start a whole thing. If somebody is very talented, they can sing, they can dance, just do it completely different, where you're not going to, basically take anybody and turn them into your slave. That's what it really comes down to, right? All right. Let's see here. Hi, everyone from Florida. Haven't caught a live in a long time. Hey, Christine, good to see you. So that's what I have going on. I am going to do my show, I think, at 6 or 7 o'clock tonight. On the gold, I do want to talk about the gold. And it's a little bit of history. I can only play so much of it. It will be copyright from somebody else that did a whole documentary on it. I was real surprised to find out how much gold Canada has, San Francisco had, obviously the UK, where they actually take you in and show you all the gold. And what my whole thing is, give it back to the people, right? We got to give that back to the people. They hoarded it for so long. The gig is up as far as I'm concerned, and hopefully we can see through all that really soon. There, we got to get through the rest of this shit show. This Harris and what is it? Harry and Waltz. What's the guy's name? I don't even know. They're calling him Tampon Tim because he was putting tampon machines in the boys' locker rooms. Now, I did a story on this because I was doing stories out of Gateway Pundit, and I remember reading this, going, "What the hell?" And the boys walked into the actual locker room or the bathrooms, wherever we're at, and it took them 20 minutes to demolish it. And some comedian came out and said, "Why did it take you 20 minutes? The first thing you do is you see that, and that's just basically trying to break your gene pool, right? It's just trying to tell you you're not what you think you are." The nerve of these freaking people, I'm telling you. But anyways, that's where we're at. AO says, "What?" Yeah, what is this? PJ, what are they already doing it in Texas? Dennis Quaid. Yeah. Yeah, I heard he was doing that. Dantese, Dallas, Texas was Hollywood before they moved to California. I did not know that. Let's see what else we have. Anybody out on the Rumble rants out there? Just wanted to, I'm not sad, but I've been real emotional lately, says Rough Tyron. There has been something astrologically. I'm not going to say that this is a reason for that comment out there, but there is something that has been going on that it depends on your sign there, right? Everybody was feeling it in the last couple of days. I know I was feeling very, very aggressive, like, and my dogs were also too. And I was like, what the heck is going on? And I was listening to an astrologer out on YouTube, and his name is Rick, R-I-K, and I like him because he's very monotone, if you will. He's explaining things, and he takes it day by day. So look him up if you're looking for somebody. But basically was saying that there was a lot going on with this aggressive Mars. And next week, you think this week is kind of like prepping for whatever is going to happen next week. And next week, probably something big might come of it. I'm just hoping that they don't start talking about World War III more, or something, really stupid that, that is maybe not part of the movie. What do you guys think out there? Dantese says early 1900 Dallas was an entertainment capital, and they should have left it there. But no, they had to pull everything over to California because everything was abundant because of San Francisco finding all the gold, right? And all that. They just had, they had to totally take control of California. And, what was it called? California Dreaming. Everybody, I remember my mother when we were living, she wanted to move to California. And we're from the Midwest. I'm like, well, I ain't moving there. I had no desire ever. I worked for Netscape and Microsoft, and that's the only time I went out there. And believe you me, I was like, what the hell is all the hype about? Right. And then I had to go I worked from the West Coast to the East Coast, and I lived in the Midwest. And I worked for GE out in, the East Coast there. And I got to see a lot about the East Coast, and I didn't like that either. I'm a Midwest girl now living in the South. But let me tell you, that whole, when there's so much, of the energies in one particular place, I don't know about you guys. I just don't like it. And I didn't like it. There was something being out in a Baltimore area where GE had a couple of places that I had to go to. I didn't like that energy. It wasn't built up or anything. And I know Baltimore today is not a very good place, but I will sense places when I go, and I'm sure you guys do the same thing, and say, yeah, I could see myself living here, or, oh, I'd never want to live here, that type of thing. Lori's is saying California Dreaming. Yep. Yeah, big song out there, right? About that. So let's see what else I have out there. Just a lot of, to me, watching Harris and her VP pick is almost an insult to my intelligence. Do you guys feel the same way about that? I saw Trump had a meme out there. What's his last name? Is it Harris and Waltz? And then you say Harris Waltz or something like that, whatever his last name is. And Trump made a comment saying, sounds like Harry Balls. I didn't say that. And I saw it, and I'm like, oh, okay, they're just gonna run rampant with this one here. Let's see what else we have. Oh, there is some information out there, and I don't know to trust this though, but I'll tell you. It says Russian warships have reportedly arrived in Venezuela. Do you remember yesterday or the last time I was on here? They were saying, keep your eyes on Venezuela. What is going on out there, you guys? What do you think? Let's just hope that this part of the movie, seriously. Let's see here. This is what I'm referring to. One split second here. Let's see here. All right, so this is Harry Balls. That's what Trump said. You guys can find it out there. Yeah, so this is what they're talking about here. Part of the movie, huh? I think it's part of the movie. All right, so there you guys have it. If there's somebody in Hollywood that you're interested in hearing more about, just write to me. All you got to do is just let me know who you're interested in. I'd be glad to talk about them. I'm trying to go really deep. I'm going back to the 1930s, and kind of moving forward with this. This is the greatest movie of all times, bar none. Yeah, it really is a really good movie, and some of the actors in them are just dumb, just stupid, dumb. And we have to see this through, you guys. Dantese has been with me forever. Just recently I used to have Mayday on here, who's been with me the whole 4.5 years, and then she's had some family issues that have come up, and I'm constantly saying prayers from her husband. Just got out of the hospital, and I'm always saying, Mayday, how are you doing? It's getting there. We're getting there. Hang in there. And I hope your husband is doing much, much better, which he did let me know that he is. So if you guys have been wondering about that, yeah, she's really had her hands full this year, and she's got the strength to do what she's got to do. Let's see what else we have out here. Yeah, they're starting to the whole Olympics thing of the men and the women breaking down, men dressing up like women and winning all this stuff. I think that's coming to an end. I sure hope so, but I just don't want to see anything out there in reference to war. So let's just all, take this moment right now. Just take 30 seconds just for praying for peace, world peace. And that's really what this all comes down to. Yeah, so if a lot of you don't know that London has their hands full, London bridges are falling down literally. And we're going to hear more about Venezuela. We're going to hear about other countries out there. And I have no idea what's going to happen to the United States. Nobody does. But I think that this week, with all the weird energies, the weird frequencies, all of that stuff, with the way that these the astrology is being explained to me, it sure sounds like that it's going to be calm before the storm. I don't know what's going to hit, and I just hope that no one is hurt. No human beings are hurt in any of this. Let the stock market fall, right? We've been waiting for this. We need something, everything is just out of control. If we have a crash, so be it. Whatever it is, you guys just, you've had plenty of time to get ready for whatever it is, but are we ever really ready for it? Yeah. What is this? Dantese is saying the tomorrow should be very interesting. What's going on, Dantese? What is? Oh, the 888. Is that it? Let's see here. What else? If there's something else, let me know. What are you guys out on? What are you guys out there thinking? I did receive a message from Hula Hoop out there. I saw it, Hula Hoop. I didn't get a chance. Here it is. So this was really interesting. So Hula Hoop, I'm not sure if you're still with us. Her last comment out there was about Shirley MacLaine, but there is an Olympic. Come on, open up. I just had it. She says, this is one of my clients. For the first time in 40 years, an American man who won the Olympic medal in weightlifting. Hampton Morris, a 20-year-old who trains primarily out of his garage of his family's Georgia home, ended the decade-long drought by winning the bronze at the 2024 Paris Games on Wednesday. He finished behind the gold medalist Fabian of China, and there's somebody else of Thailand who took the silver. Morris was sitting in the fifth place after his snatch, but then leapfrogged into the medal position thanks to his second lift of competition, clean and jerk, and so on and so forth. So they talk a little bit about what he lifted, 135 pounds, and hoisted, and combined weight was 298 kilograms, which is about 657 pounds. And so why am I reading this is because I got a message from Hula Hoop that basically says this is one of our clients at our center. I didn't Hula Hoop, if you ever wanted me to read something and show it, you got to email me, because I suck at trying to get the little picture like this over to my emails, and I never know how to do it. So so that's quite a Hula Hoop. Can you put in the chat if you're still listening, if you're still with us? What did you guys do? Was he in the chamber? Was he in the chamber? Was he getting oxygen to the body? Tell us a little bit more about this. Or if you want, you could call me. It's up to you. All right, so let's see here. Dantese has got a little message for us. He says, Dantese, I wish I could sound like Dantese. He's got a very deep voice. He said, I called Wells Fargo yesterday to get some of the info on exchange currency as of K. They no longer exchange IQD and VND due to fraud. We are at the finish, no doubt about it. All right. He says, okay, the word is May. He said, I called Wells Fargo yesterday to get some information currencies as of May, and they're no longer doing exchanges. So is that a good thing? Because I'm not a part of any of this here. So were you guys told once the exchanges stop, then it's going to be a go? Is that an easy way to put it? PJ says legitimate. Okay, and I wish I could get Dantese to talk about this stuff because I don't know anything about it. So all I know is that gold and silver took a hit on Monday, and of course that is because of the rest of the world of technology. Everybody took a big hit, and that might just be the beginning of this also. So what is actually going to happen? So stay tuned, you guys. I'll pop in here as much as I can. I'm coming back on either 6 or 7 o'clock tonight. Talk about a little bit about the gold, and won't be a very long show. I can't believe I already talked an hour. Oh, I was only going to do 30 minutes. So Dantese says, yes, it's a good thing because the currency I purchased comes from the U.S. No fraud involved. Woo! Dantese, come on. Just get on the phone. We want to hear your voice. Come on. Not today. Soon. Send me. I know you've got my email out there, Dantese. If you just want to do a phone call, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, that'll be good too. Cindy, you're welcome so much. Cindy is a flight attendant for 737. I just made this up because yesterday she told me that she used to be a flight attendant. All right. Thank you guys. I hope you really understand, and the truth is coming out even if after you're dead. Like Hedy Lamarr, they're finally giving her credit is due, and it's so good to know that it took a brilliant a brilliant woman to discover Wi-Fi that we use today. I'm in awe of that. All right, you guys take care, and I'll see you guys later on. Now we turn the page. Bye now.